Whoa. Same stuff.
Welcome back to 4 Nostalgic Reasons. Oh man, that was trash. Let me try this again.
Good character.
Welcome back for Nostalgic Reasons. Oh man, try to lighten the mood a little bit. But today, definitely want to talk about something that's low-key kind of been on my mind lately. It's been talked about a lot over the past couple of years. And just want to give a little update about what things I'm going through and things that or how it affects me, which is anxiety. Excuse me. There's a lot of people talking about mental health and mental wealth and all this other stuff, like taking care of your mental basically. And to be honest, this is more like I haven't necessarily started hearing about it. It started the first time I started hearing about mental health and just the word the word anxiety and the actual effects of it was in 2017. So going on 5 years ago. But the first time my first experience with me actually starting to deal with it was around the same time actually. It was 2017. In early 2016, January of 2016, I actually got into a really bad car accident. Car flipped over, and what happened was I was going to get gas. Was supposed to be my friends down at the movie theaters, and we were supposed to go watch The Revenant. The Revenant just came out, and we were all supposed to go watch the movie. This and that. I was supposed to meet them there. I just got off work. I was going to get gas, and I was trying to hurry up and go home and meet them there. I went to go get gas, whatever, and I went down this back road to hurry up. It was the quickest way for me to get home. I went down the back road, and not even a mile down the road, there was black ice. It was snowing in the previous night, and then I think it was raining the previous night, and then I think it froze over, and it was black ice on the road. My tires were already bald. My car wasn't. There was a bunch of stuff wrong with my car at the time, but the main thing was that my tires were bald. I didn't have that much traction on it. I was just thinking about getting new tires within that week, within the next week or two. I was driving the car, and all of a sudden, the car started sliding or whatever, and I've never been in this position before, so I was just oh snap! I started trying to hurry and control the car, and it got out of control. I hit a wall, and I guess I hit a wall, and then there was a tree that was right next to where the wall was. I hit the wall, hit the tree, and my car flipped over on its side. And like I said, I was going this way. After it flipped over, it spun 180 degrees. So instead of me when I was going this way, the car started facing that way. I didn't hit any besides the wall and the tree and stuff like that. I didn't do major damage, nothing like that. But like I said, I flipped the car over. Nobody was on the road at the time, thank God. So I didn't injure anybody else. And even when it was happening, I was just it just felt like a dream. It did not feel real at all. And I was just the whole entire time, I'm bro, that didn't just happen. That, and I'm waiting to wake up. I'm that was a dream. That did not just happen. And I was I just couldn't believe that. I was that just didn't just happen. I was wearing my seatbelt. I wasn't super hurt. I wasn't oh my God, oh. But once again, the car was on its side, and from watching movies and stuff like that, all I was thinking is yo, when a car is flips over, usually in the movies or video games and stuff like that, it's ready to explode. So I'm just yo, after I kind of came to a little bit, I was oh my God, I gotta hurry to get out of this car. So I ended up hurry up and trying to open up the door. Like I said, I'm laying like this, reach up, open up the door, and I'm climbing out of the car. And I look over, and I just so happen to crash right in front of somebody's house. And the guy's just this guy standing out in his front yard. He's just looking at me, just yo, are you okay? And I was yeah. I remember at the time, I didn't have a cell phone. I was actually carrying around an iPad, and I had my iPad Mini, and I would have to go to like places that had Wi-Fi, and I had to use the text app to get in contact with people. Um, I just broke my cell phone like earlier, probably like a month or two beforehand. So like I didn't have a cell phone, so I didn't have my iPad on me, and I didn't have no Wi-Fi. So like yeah, I'm good. I was like, can I just use your phone? He's like, yeah. He's like, are you sure? Like you should sit down. I was like, no, I'm good. I was wearing my seatbelt. I'm good. I just need to get in contact with somebody, and I just want to call my dad real fast, and I just need somebody like I need to call the police or something like that to pick this up. Trucks like my truck was spilling out gas all on the road and stuff like that, and I'm just like, we shouldn't be standing this close to the car. I feel like we should like back up. Like is there any way to like get like from right where we're standing? Because like the car's like the road was like 20 meters from like where we were standing. I'm like, bro, we should not be this close. So, like, I'm like over here trying to like find a way to like back up just a little bit, but I'm not trying to like take off with his. I didn't want him to think like I'm trying to take off with his phone or anything. So I'm just like trying to like get as far away as I possibly could without like looking like I'm about to take off somewhere. So I call my dad first, get him on the phone, and I'm like, yo, I just got into a car accident and the car's totaled, and I need you to pick me up. And he was just like, I just remember him being like, he's like, what do you mean it's totaled? Like, he's like, what's your version of totaled? And I'm like, I don't know why, like, that was like his first response. I was like, what, you don't believe me? Like, he's like, what's your version of totaled? And I'm just like, I was like, it's laying on its side right now. And he's like, all right, well, like, if you can like push it back over, can you just drive it down the street? I'm like, no, like, no, I can't. He's like, come on, like, are you like, come on, man, like, this is not a game. I'm like, I was like, yo, first off, like, why am I getting so many questions? Number one, why are you questioning? Like, I'm like, I can't drive the car. Like, it's literally leaking out gas right now. He's like, oh my god, like, they're gonna charge you so much money. I'm like, nah, cool. I'm like, Dad, I'm good. Like, it's fine. I just kind of want to go home. Like, I'm kind of like tired already. I just got into a car accident. I kind of want to I just want to go home. He ends up coming. We had to like get the whole entire we had to call the police or whatever and get the car picked up and had to get it towed away. But after that, like I started having like dreams about it and like just dreams about like me like kind of like driving and not being able to see the road in front of me, and like I kept having and it would happen like a lot after that. Like a little bit of a PTSD, like I would have dreams about me like crashing and everything. It wasn't like every single night. It wasn't even like every week type of thing, but it was like enough for me to notice. I'm like, yo, this is kind of a little bit of a pattern. But the next year in 2017, I had my first anxiety attack. I was in a car dealership. I was about to sign up for a car note, about to get a new car, and I was just. If anyone knows, like, if anyone ever like bought a car or tried to get a car note or something like that, you guys know that the process of like trying to get a car or like finance a car, it takes so long. Like I've gone through that 3 times, and every single time it takes literally like 4 or 5 hours for them to get everything in order, and it's just such a long process. So I'm in there, filling out paperwork and stuff like that. They have to go through all like my background check. They have to go through like my pay stubs and everything for my job, make sure I make enough money to pay for the car, this and the other. And about an hour and a half in, after I'm like just got done filling out the paperwork or whatever, and I'm just sitting at like the desk. The lady went like somewhere. The lady that was helping me trying to get the car or whatever, she went somewhere. And I'm just sitting there, and all of a sudden like I just feel like my chest like tightened up a little bit. I'm like, what the hell? Like what the hell? Like that's literally never happened to me before. So what the hell? So then I'm like struggling, like I'm like feeling myself like struggling to breathe. I'm like, bro, I'm only 20. I was like 20 at the time. I'm like, bro, I'm way too young to have a heart attack right now. I was like, there's nothing happening. So, and it's not like I'm like fat. I'm like not fat. Like I'm not like diabetic. I'm not eating a whole bunch of like BS. So I'm like, why does my chest feel weird? And all of a sudden, I'm like, bro, like I could not catch my breath. So I'm like, all right, let me just hurry and go get some water real fast. So I got up to where one of those, they had like the things where you hit like the water fountain or whatever, where you have like the cups on the side, and they have like the big giant like jug, whatever. Got some water, started drinking water, calmed me down a little bit. I'm like, all right. I sat down, I started chilling. And then all of a sudden it started happening, like a minute later it started happening again. I'm like, all right, like, yo, what is happening to me right now? Like, what is going on? All right, like, so I was like, all right, let me just go outside and get some air. But I didn't want them to think I'm leaving because, like I said, I'm just like I just filled out a whole bunch of paperwork. I don't want to just like dip out. Like they have all my information. I don't know who knows what people are doing nowadays with all that. But I'm not just trying to hurry up and dip. So I'm like, but I can't get myself together. And I was in there. It wasn't like a ton of people in the car dealership, but it was enough people in there. It was probably like 6-7 people in there. And I just didn't want anyone to like see me like freak out. I didn't want to cause attention to myself. I didn't want someone to be like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" Like I just didn't want to cause like attention to myself. So I go outside, and then I'm like, I was like, I need to go to the hospital. I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I don't feel safe right now. So once again, I call my dad. I'm like, yo, like I don't know I have no idea what's going on with me right now. But I feel like I can't breathe, and I just need to go to the hospital. I can't calm myself down. Once again, and like, in his defense, like I said, this never happened to either. It never happened to him before, and it's never happened to me before. So in his mind, I guess he was just thinking like I was just like overreacting, or like I was just like freaking out, or like, I don't know what he thought, but he was just like, are you being serious? He just didn't take it like as seriously as like I was hoping he would. But then I go. Like I'm like, yo, can you like come on? This man, like I lived like 15 minutes away from where the car dealership was. This man took 45 minutes to get there. I'm like, bro, I'm in like the entire time I'm just freaking out, and I'm like to the point where I'm like, yo, like, what if his phone died? Like I'm hurt calling. Like I didn't call him. I didn't call him. Like I didn't want to keep calling because I didn't want to like start like freaking out on me. Like, yo, I'm coming. Like I didn't want all that. I didn't want to get all that. But I'm just like, yo, like, is he on his way? Like, did he forget? Like, is this man like stopping a whole bunch of other places? Like, I'm just in like my mind's just racing like 1,000 miles a minute. I'm just like, yo, I'm just having all these like sporadic thoughts. I just don't know how to like calm. And every single time I'm thinking, I don't know how to calm myself down, and like I keep like making myself more anxious. I'm just like, I don't know what to do with myself. Finally pulls up, and I just walk out. Like I didn't even tell the lady I was leaving. I just left. I was like, I heard we got in the car. I was like, yo, I need to go to the hospital. Luckily, the hospital wasn't that far away. It was like probably 10 minutes away. So we went up to the hospital. They put me like in the emergency. I went to the emergency room. They put me in the thing, in like the room or whatever. And I just remember in the room, once again, like the entire time, I'm still freaking out. Like I don't know how to calm myself down. I'm just sitting there, like, like they gave me this button or whatever. In the hospital bed, they was like, just push this button if you need anything. Push the button if you need any help or whatever. And I was in there for like 10 minutes, and I'm just like, I'm not trying to like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm also not trying to like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm not trying to inconvenience anybody. Like I'm not trying to like be annoying or anything. But I'm like, bro, like I'm freaking out still, and I don't know how to calm myself down. And I was like, I hit the button, and they come in, they're like, you good? I'm like, I don't know what's going on with my life right now. Like, I have no idea what's going on with me. I can't calm myself down. So they ended up giving me like a shot or whatever, and they started pumping. I'm pretty sure they gave me Ativan. They started pumping like the Ativan, like, and giving me like a whole bunch of like fluids and stuff. They started pumping the Ativan like in my like veins and stuff like that. Eventually, I started falling asleep. And that like I'm pretty sure that's what like it's for, is like, or like I guess I'm pretty sure that's what Ativan's for, like for like people that have like anxiety attacks and stuff like that. Gave me that, fell asleep. I don't even remember how I got home. I just like remember that like I remember like slowly like I was talking to my dad, and I just remember slowly like getting tired and like starting to pass out. That was my first thing. That was my first deal with like having an anxiety attack. Like throughout the whole entire year, pretty much of 2017, not even the whole year. It was like the whole entire like summer. Like that happened probably like early in like that probably happened in like June, like May, June-ish. Literally, like next like 3 or 4 months, I was in and out of the hospital. I started having more and more anxiety attacks, and they were like getting worse. And the worst times it would happen was when I was like driving. I was going to college at the time in Philly, and I would drive. Like Philly is like probably like 40-ish minutes away from where I live. So like I'm like on the highway, and I just like remember I'll be driving, and like once again I could not breathe, and it would just, and like I don't know what would trigger it. I don't know what was happening for me to like feel that way. I don't know, like literally don't know how it started, but literally I'll be driving, cool, listening to music, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, like I was like I can't swallow, like I feel like I can't, like literally it feels like I'm having a heart attack. And I'm like, bro, like I'm too young to be going through this right now. Like I'm not, I've never dealt with this ever in life, and I'm not one of those people that's like super unhealthy, that's like always eating like a whole bunch of BS all the time. Like, I'm never like that person, so I'm like, I don't know what this is, and I'm like, oh my god, and I'm in the middle lane of the highway. I'm just like, oh my god, like I just gotta pull over. One time I was going to college, I was literally in traffic, and I couldn't pull over. Like I couldn't get over to the right lane, I couldn't get into the left lane. I was in the middle lane, and I'm like, I can't pull over, so I'm like rolling down the window trying to get some air. I remember I tried to turn the radio on, try to listen to some music, calm me down. That was freaking me out even more. I can't listen to the radio. Turn the radio down, and I'm just like sitting here, like low key, like kind of like hyperventilating in the car while I'm driving to school. I'm like, oh my god, why is this happening to me? Um, that would happen a couple times. Like I would be driving home. It would get to the point where like I would like live in town, but like my house would be like probably like 10 minutes around the corner, and I would pull over on the side of the road, and I would just like get like I couldn't even sit in the car anymore. I would literally have to get out, but I didn't want to look like I'm in the middle of town. I'm not trying to look like no weirdo. It was nighttime too, and I'm just not trying to look weird. So like I get out the car and I'm acting like I'm looking for something in the back seat, but I'm like literally trying to like go for a walk or something like a short little walk, or like just trying to like just find a way to calm myself down. So like, I'm in the back seat, just like acting like I'm looking for stuff, acting like I'm doing something. Couldn't calm myself down. Then I'm like, all right, like this is going too far. So I can deal with this. I'm like I literally live like right around the corner. It's not gonna be that bad. Hop back in the car, turn on the car, drive to, like as soon as I start like hitting the gas pedal, it starts happening again. I'm like, bro, get yourself together. And I'm like freaking out to the point where like I'm about to pass out type thing. And I'm just like trying to like get myself together. I'm trying to like breathe. I'm trying to like literally focus on my breathing. And I'm like, oh my god, just like make it home. And I just remember like it literally for me to drive like 10 minutes, it took me like 25 minutes to get home when I was 10 minutes from my crib. I'd have to keep pulling over, stopping, calm myself down, drive again for a little bit, stop. Like, and it was like every single like 30 seconds, it was just like it would be so intense. I could not figure out a way to calm myself down. And I was like, and it was just like I remember I was like the whole entire summer I was in and out the hospital because like I said, I'd never been like one of those people that was like super unhealthy. So I'm like I'm thinking like, all right, maybe it was something that happened like when I got into a car. I kept telling the hospital people like, yo, like maybe I did get into a car accident last year. I was like, maybe I broke a rib or something like that. Maybe like I like tore a muscle. Like I don't know what it was, but I'm like assuming it had to be something from the car accident. I got a whole bunch of X-rays and stuff like that. No broken bones. I did have a torn shoulder, but like I had got my head like scanned. There was nothing wrong. Like there's no brain injuries, no brain damage, no nothing. But I'm like, with them telling me that, like usually like normal people be like, oh yeah, all right, good, nothing wrong with me. That was like them telling me that freaked me out even more because I'm like, bro, if nothing's wrong with me, then what is going on? Like, what is going on if nothing's wrong with me? There's no, like, I don't have nothing broken. Like, there's nothing going on, but I keep having these anxiety attacks. And I'm just like, yeah, and I went to like 3 or 4 different hospitals, 3 different, like, emergency rooms, and literally every single one will tell me, like, you're good. Like, there's nothing wrong with you. Like, we can give you some, like, prescription, but, like, I don't like taking pills or anything. I'm, like, terrified of taking pills. I don't want to get, like, addicted to pills or something like that. I don't like taking like prescription or anything. So I'm just like, nah, I'm cool. And they're like, are you taking anything? And I'm like, nah. Like, they was like, are you eating? Like, this might be something that you're eating. I'm like, I'm not doing anything different than what I normally do. Like, I used to play football. I used to get physicals all the time. Like, I've been healthy for as long as I can remember. Like, there's never been anything wrong with me. This just started happening. And just like, no one knew what to tell me. So I'm just like, all right. I have to figure out a way to deal with this by myself because if they're telling me nothing's wrong, but I keep feeling like there's something wrong and I keep having these anxiety attacks, there's something there, like, it's something with me. So I actually started listening to, the first time I heard someone else like talk about it was Logic. I was listening to a Logic album, the Everybody album. And I was listening to him on one of his songs. And he was talking about how he had his first like anxiety attack when he was in the movie theaters with his girlfriend. He was like, the whole entire song he was talking about like, yeah, like couldn't breathe, this, that, and the other. Exactly the same thing I was going through. So then like when I heard about that, I was like, okay, so it's not just me. People go through this. But like, why? But no, like the whole thing that was like pissing me off so much is like, why is it happening? And how do I like find the trigger? Like, what triggers it? Like, I don't know what's triggering anxiety. Like, I don't know what's going on with me. Um, and pretty much like ever since then, like I still have like a case. Like I haven't had like anxiety attacks to that degree in a while, thank God. And I haven't like it hasn't happened at when I was like it happened a few times when I was driving, but like I've learned to just breathe and just calm myself down while I'm driving. So it hasn't happened. It hasn't happened while I was driving in a while, and I actually drive for a living now, so like it doesn't happen then. Um, as far as anxiety, like as far as like different anxiety attacks like I have now, I know for like back like in 2017, as soon as after they told me like I tore my shoulder and stuff like that, I was so used I couldn't sleep on my left side because like that's when I got into the car accident, like I fell on like the left side. So like for that, like for like a year and a half after that, like sleeping on my left side and sleeping on my chest, it was literally a no go. Like I didn't get any surgery, and it like started like healing kind of weird. Like to this day, I never got surgery on it or anything. But I was so used to like sleeping on my chest and stuff like that that like literally whenever like I'd fall asleep on my chest, it felt like my chest was literally caving in. And I'm like, I'd wake up like, oh my god, like this is it? Like am I having a heart attack? Like this is how I'm going out? Oh my god! And I'll wake up and like look around, and like nothing would be like everything would be cool, and I'm just like the feeling will go away, like that sinking feeling in my chest will go away. I'm just like, bro, the fuck? And I would go back to sleep. I'll sleep on my chest. Same thing would happen. So I'm like, all right, that's one thing I know. Like that's a pattern. Um, but that still kind of happens every now and again. The whole like waking up out of my sleep that happened like actually a couple days ago. Once again, um, like I don't like my shoulder for the most part. Like it's not it healed kind of weird, but like I've slept on my chest before and nothing's happened. So like I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe like I just need to get that fixed for myself. Maybe I just need to go to a doctor or something like that and get that fixed. But as far as like anxiety and stuff like that, I didn't know like I don't have anxiety attacks anymore. I don't have any anxiety attacks anymore. But it shows up in other places. It comes at me in like different forms. So like when it comes to symptoms, like I started looking up a whole bunch of symptoms and stuff like that. What are the different symptoms of anxiety? How do you know? Um, I haven't really. I found out that one of the symptoms are that like when people have anxiety, they talk like super fast, and that's one way it shows up for me. I watch different recordings of me like talking or something like that, and there would be times where I can understand where I'm saying I can understand what I'm saying, but like I'm talking super fast. I'm like, and I'm like, bro, what? Why am I talking like that? And I didn't realize I did it until I started recording myself. Um, but like it shows up in that. I talk super fast. Um, when it comes to like making like certain decisions and stuff like that, I second guess myself on certain things, and I get kind of like nervous, and then I go down like a rabbit hole, and it's like a whole entire like, oh my god, like if this happened, then this might happen. Like, and I just started going like I start going like down that rabbit hole, and I start like spiraling out of control, low key. That happens still. Um, when it comes to like as simple as me playing basketball or something like that, like I'll shoot a shot and I'm like thinking like, oh my god, like as soon as I get the ball, I have to make this one shot, and if I miss, it's like low key like the end of the world. Like, oh my god, they're not gonna pass me the ball no more. Like, oh my god, I'm gonna miss the layup next time, and I start like spiraling out of control. So like now that like I've done the work to get over like the crazy anxiety attacks, like I've figured out a way to calm that down for the most part. Like I listen to a certain like I change the way I eat. I listen to a certain music to calm myself down. When it like I feel like I'm about to have an anxiety attack, I remember to breathe. I've been in this situation before. It's not what I think it is. It's not a heart attack. I know what a heart like I've looked up what the symptoms of a heart attack are. It's not that. But as far as like just like the anxiety part, I still go through it every single day. When it's all, in terms of like second guessing myself, in terms of like overthinking, going into like that rut, like spiraling out of control. I deal with that all the time. And just like the fear of the unknown, man. I think that part, I feel like that's just natural. Like everyone's going to go through anxiety, and I feel like everyone, for the most part, like there are some people that like are excited about the unknown and like, oh my god, I can't wait, or I can't wait to figure this thing out. Me, it's like I like structure. Like I like a regimen. I like knowing. I like knowing. You know what's going to happen. I know if I do this, 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 and this, then it's going to equal to this. Or if I do this and this and this, I know this is going to, like, I'm going to benefit this way, or this person's going to benefit this way. Like, I like having some sensibility of, like, knowing what's going to happen. Fear of the unknown, man, like, the last time I've had anxiety and stuff like that, like, related to, like, the unknown and stuff like that was when I moved to Vegas. I moved out there with, like, the intention of like, oh my god, like, I'm so sick and tired of living in PA, yo. I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna start a whole. But I didn't know, like, my whole entire thing was just getting there. And then I didn't have a plan necessarily of like what I was gonna do after I got there. I just thought that like I was gonna figure everything out once I got there. But I was like, yeah, I'm gonna move out there and I'm gonna start doing YouTube and stuff. And I'm just gonna grind every single day. And but like it was never like that was just as far as I thought. I never thought too much farther than that. And like a whole bunch of other stuff happened where I ended up moving back to PA, but like it was just, I don't know, like just fear, like the unknown is just it's just scary, man. Like I don't know how else to put it. It's scary. Like not knowing what's gonna happen next, not knowing like, oh yeah, like, oh, am I gonna wake up? Like, am I gonna wake up tomorrow? Like I said, like I'm having like anxiety attacks in my sleep. Like not knowing, like, oh man, like one of these times I'm not gonna wake up, like that sinking feeling in my chest that's gonna take me out of here one of these days, like. And it was just hard, especially at that time. And I'm being completely honest, and I haven't necessarily like talked about it to too many people, but when all that stuff was going on, and like I would catch so many, like when the anxiety attacks just kept coming, and like little stuff would trigger, like little stuff started triggering me. Like I said, like well, this is a terrible example of a little thing, but one of the managers at my job ended up passing away. And like I wasn't, like, when I tell you I wasn't even friends with this man, I barely even talked to this person. Like I barely said two words to this man. And to be honest with you, I wasn't really like that cool with him. Like he wasn't one of my favorite people to be around. And he ended up like just not coming into work one day, and they said he passed away. And I was like, and that hit me so hard to the point where like I said, I had that anxiety attack. I couldn't breathe. I had to walk around the corner. Luckily, I was friends with like a lot of my coworkers and stuff like that. So like they cared about me and stuff like that. And they were like trying to, like, they told me to go outside, figure out a way to calm myself down. But like just hearing that, I'm like, oh my god, like I could not deal, like at all. I could not deal. And they just like had to figure out a way to calm me down. And I just remember thinking, like, during that whole entire time, I'm like, bro, like, this keeps happening to me. I'm like, I don't know how much longer I could deal with this. Like, I couldn't, like up until that point, I always had a clear vision of what my future was going to look like. Up until, like, I was, like, that happened when I was 20. Up until then, like I said, I had a clear vision of what I was going to do. Like, I was playing football and stuff like that. Thought I was going to get a scholarship. Thought I was going to go to the NFL. Like, nobody was telling me nothing. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna be this boy. I'm gonna be in college. At the very least, I'm gonna be in college, and I figured it out after that. I'm gonna get a scholarship. At the very least, I'm gonna get a scholarship. Even if I don't make it to the league, like I said, at the very least, I'm gonna be in college. But it didn't turn out like that, and like I just couldn't see what was going. Like I couldn't see like 2 years down the road. I couldn't see 3 years down the road. And that would freak me out even more. I'm just like, bro, what does that mean? Like, if I can't see what's ahead, like, what does that mean? I'm not gonna be around anymore? Like, am I about to check out of here soon? Like, what does that mean? And I just like going down that, like I said, going down that rut, down that road, and I start spiraling out of control. I'm like, bro, like I said, I keep having the anxiety attacks when I'm in my sleep. I'm like, bro, like, once again, like one of these times, I'm not gonna wake up. Like, I know it's coming. I'm just thinking, like, I know it's coming. Like, I'm going through all this crazy stuff. I know it's coming. One of these days, it's just, I know it's coming. And I didn't, like, no one was, like I said, I tried to talk to my dad about it, and he hasn't gone through that. So like there was no, like, if you're not going through it, you can't. It's hard for you to relate. And nobody else, none of my friends were going through it. And I'm just like, bro, like, what is wrong with me? Like, and I don't know. Like I said, like, I just didn't know. Nobody in my close friend group was going through it. Nobody in my family that I like talked to was necessarily going through it. And I just didn't know. Like, I just felt like there was nobody that like I could talk to that was going through it. And I feel like just everybody was looking at me kind of weird, like, what in the world? Like, I remember a couple of my friends were kind of like making fun of me for it a little bit, and I'm just like, I don't like, not that I was paying them that much mind, like it didn't hurt my feelings or anything, but like, I did start feeling weird because I'm like, no one else is going through this, like no one else is dealing with this but me, and I'm like, up until that point, I could always envision myself like 2 years from now, what I'm doing 3 years from now, and at that point, I'm just like, since I can't see that, I'm like, what does that mean? Like, does that mean like I'm about to check out of here? Like, does that mean like I don't know what that means? And I would just go down that rabbit hole. I'll go down that tunnel, and I start spiraling. I'm just like, I don't know what's happening to me. Like, this isn't puberty. Like this, I don't know what this is. Like, I don't know what, and I didn't know what to call it. And it was just, I don't know, man. It was just a lot, and it was scary. I just thought that since that kept happening to me in my sleep and stuff too, with that whole entire thing, I'm like, bro, one of these times it's gonna take me out. I just know for a fact, like it's gonna happen. Like it's gonna happen. Like I've had way too many close calls. Even to this day, I'm like, bro, like not that it happens all the time or anything like that, or not that it happens all the time. Like it doesn't happen that often. It happened recently, but other than that, the last couple times, it hasn't happened in like probably like a year or so. So like, but at the time it was literally kept happening. I'm in my sleep and I'm just like, and I'm just over here like gasping for air, looking around, and it'll go away. So I'm just like, bro, like one of these times it's these close calls keep happening. I don't know what to do. The hospital keeps telling me I'm good. Like the doctors keep telling me I'm good. Everyone keeps telling me I'm good, but I don't feel good. Like I don't feel like I'm 100% like how I used to. Like I'm on edge. I was on edge all the time. Like, I just didn't like it. But I don't even know exactly what the specific thing that I started doing to overcome that. I just remember I just started listening to some music. Started exercising a little bit more. But even then, like I fell out. Like I ended up getting fat. I lost weight again. I went up and down with weight. I got super. During that time, like that was in 2017. 2018, I got super skinny. Like usually my normal weight is around like 210. I got down to like 185, and I was like super skinny. Like I was like just super skinny. I wasn't eating. I mean, too much information, but I was taking like shits like 3 times a day. Like whenever I would eat, like right after that, like after shit, like right after, like it was like it would be wild. But and I just got super skinny, and I just remember like my girlfriend at the time, she was just like, yo, like, you need to start eating. Like you're so skinny, like you don't eat anymore. Like you're so skinny now. Like what is going on? And like I started like one thing that started messing me up is that once like I started playing basketball and stuff like that, usually like I'll be able to like power through some certain things, and I couldn't do that anymore. And I was like, bro, like I can't power through. Like I'm like, yo, like I feel like weak now. I'm like, yo, like this is getting a little too much. Then I went like the pandemic happened, and then I went like from being 185 to 220. Like I gained like mad weight. I wouldn't say 220. 220. I was 220 at one point. And like in my pictures, I'm just like super fat. I'm like, bro, like this is not the way to go either. So now I'm kind of comfortable where I'm at now, but yeah, if oh man, anxiety is a motherfucker, bro. I still go through anxiety, still go through depression. But I'm more mature. Like I've aged. I'm a little more mature now, so like I know how to deal with it a little bit better than how I used to. But for anyone that's out there that's looking for like a way to try to like get out of it or get like if you're dealing with anxiety and stuff, everyone deals with anxiety. Everyone deals with depression. If you don't, then yo, congratulations to you, my guy, because I wish I could say the same. But for people that are going through those things, I mean, people talk about it. It's a huge thing now. Everyone talks about it. I mean, you can probably find way better advice than what I can give you. But my personal advice is just if you don't want to go to a therapist, if you don't trust people, like if you don't trust paying somebody to hear your problems or something like that, one, whoever's closest to you, talk to you. Just even if they're not going to listen to the whole entire thing, being able to talk and like vocally get it out, you hear answers within when you're going through through a problem or whatever. You talk to somebody, you can kind of start figuring out the problems by hearing yourself. There's been times where like I was out like just talking and just like going on a whole entire rant about like, yo man, I'm doing this and she did this and then this happened and I started like when I'm hearing myself talk, I'm like, oh snap, like I'm here, like I'm starting to figure out, I'm starting to put like the pieces together to like, all right, like it's not that deep, like or like I can start like finding little pieces to start fixing the problem. So like I said, if you don't like, just find somebody like that you trust, communicate your problems, and you don't want to, and you also don't want to always put like that burden on that one person. So find multiple people to talk to. You don't want to always. That was my problem. I didn't want to always come to one person and be like that one guy that's always complaining about something or always having like, oh, here he comes with the negative attitude. Oh, he always has something. Like I was always self-conscious about that. So you don't necessarily want to always like go to a person and be like, man, you won't believe what happened this time. It did like you don't want to be that person all the time. But find a couple people to vote, like get it out. Another thing, get it out. Like find a creative way to get your stress out. Whether that's for me, I was writing like when I had anxiety and stuff like that. I started writing down movie scripts. I put that in movies. I started writing movie scripts down. I started writing music down. I started writing different poems down. Like finding like my favorite activities to do, like playing sports. Got it out that way. If I was anxious about something, I'm getting it out on this basketball court. Like somebody's receiving hell today. I'm pissed. I'm feeling anxious. Yo, someone's catching hell today. I would get it out like that. Like I said, I've listened to a whole bunch of music. There's tons and tons and tons of music that people make that are relating to exactly what you're going through. Music, there's like I said, there's tons of music like out there. But yeah, that's my advice personally. Like I said, I hope that everyone is going through something. Everyone's dealing with their own battles. Everyone has something going on. No one's walking around like happy-go-lucky all the time. Like, oh man, like, everyone's dealing with something. Even if you walk around and see those people like perceive that like, oh, like they're happy-go-lucky, they're cool, they're perfect. Like everyone. I don't care who you are. Everyone's dealing with something. It might be on a small scale. It might be on the scale the size of the Rocky Mountains. Like it might be crazy, but everyone's going through something. So just like find a way to deal with what you're going through in a productive and positive way, and you'll be cool, man. Everyone's going through something, and that's what life. It's just kind of what life. That's what life's about. Everyone's going to go through something, and once you go through something, usually when you figure it out, or even if you fail, you like, all right, I failed. You have like little like gems and stuff to do something differently the next time to succeed. Like when you're going through stuff. So that's my advice, man. Just keep pushing, keep struggling, keep striving, and get better, man. Just get better and deal with your problems, positively, and just make that impact, yo. But that's enough for me. That's enough ranting and all that good stuff. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. All right.